What's going on, guys? My Discord has done it again. In the upcoming video, I will tell you how changing some settings can maximize your damage, a mistake that I made in one of my last videos, the correction to that mistake, and how all hope is not lost for console players. Let's get in it. All right, everyone. I got a funny one today. So last night in my Discord, I was talking to 3 people in there, Tama, Unknown, and Koala. Shout out. And they discovered something after I had posted the Thunder Cage video. That one right there. I had done 2 things in that video. I had tested the Nightmare Hound on the Devourer Intercept boss, and it gave me an incorrect number than the final damage testing number. This led me to test some other weapons. I did a pool of weapon tests with Sigvor's Proof, Nightmare Hound, a sniper rifle, Assassin's Edge, and Thunder Cage. I got conflicting results. Sometimes the number matched up, sometimes it didn't. Luckily, I posted a video of the only one that I thought didn't match up, but actually did. It actually gave me the answer to my question, and that is that level 1 guns and lower than level 100 guns have some kind of scaling issue when it gets to hard mode, which really isn't an issue because you're not going to use under level 100 gun in a fight anyway. So moral of the story is, don't do hard mode tests with level 1 guns. The number at the end of the boss fights, though, you can trust. The second thing that was in that video, previously I had tested Thunder Cage. Thunder Cage shows a fire rate of 666. However, when you take it into the training yard, you get a real fire rate of 600. This led to my Discord trying out a whole bunch of stuff. Tama, Unknown, and Koala, and then they brought to me their pool of their testing resources. Inside of the testing resources, they had discovered that fire rate and FPS, frames per second, is actually linked. Hilarious. So basically, the faster your FPS is, the faster your fire rate is, which in turn means more damage. I have some training footage in this clip right here. If you go and you perform this test yourself, you'll find out that your frame rates, they have a variable interval, which means they go up and down, which is completely normal for a video game. Do it multiple times with each test that you perform and make sure that none of them are an outlier and skew your result. However, 30 FPS on the Blue Blood Bloomer, which has the fastest fire rate amongst SMGs in the game. 999 is its base fire rate. And now I'll go over calculating fire rate. The bullets in the magazine, 29, divided by 40 frames a second, 2.09, will give us 13.87 bullets a second. You might be saying you cannot have 0.87 bullets a second, but you technically can if you're averaging over a time span. If I have to shave this off to get correct numbers on the second, I will end up with incorrect numbers on the minute. So don't do that. That gives us an actualized fire rate of 832 bullets per minute. You can shave off half of bullet at the end of the minute. That is fine. And then we go up. The middle one is a frame rate of 120. 18.58 gives us 1,115 bullets per minute. So the difference between 40 frames per second and 120 frames per second is in fact a 25% damage difference, which is crazy. The fire rate modules will do the same thing. So if I have a fire rate module on 40 frames per second and a fire rate module on 120 frames per second, the difference between just that module will be 25%, which means that if you equip modules, this test gets even more disparaging. What can you do to combat this? 1, if you are stuck at 60 frames per second, which some people are, so how can you try to acquiesce 120 frames per second all the time? Of course, I'm not a real YouTuber until I get sponsored by G Fuel or Raid Shadow Legends. Inside of your setting menu, however good of a computer you have, the graphics will be fine. Ray tracing is fine. I turned all of these off so I could just have more consistent testing. VSync you want turned off, and I will explain why. If I have 144 on my monitors and I don't have a great monitor, but I turn VSync on, it will sync the frame rate that the game is playing to the frame rate that my less than good quality monitor can accommodate. So you will be decreasing your damage by 10 to 25% if you turn on VSync and you don't have top of the line monitor. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency Boost will give you higher average frame rates. So if you have a maximum frame rate cap of 144, but you enable the low latency boost on your computer, it will give you higher frame rate averages to 144, thus increasing your damage. That is the second setting that you should. The third setting is unlimited. If you click unlimited with enable boost on, your computer will essentially give you the highest frame rates as long as possible all the time. So that's cool. However, you might be saying, RIP console players. Incorrect. One, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One both cap at 120 for the First Descendant. The difference between 120 and unlimited is maybe 1% marginal at best. You'll be okay. The only caveat is your computer and or television that you are playing your PlayStation on has to support 120 hertz or frames per second. If you are on PlayStation, go to settings, then go to screen and video, then go to video output, then click the 120 hertz output. If you cannot click this option, your monitor or your television does not support it, and I am sorry. The biggest difference you will see is going from 30 to 60 to 120 frames per second. I thought it was funny that somehow Nexon had linked frame rate to fire rate. Insanely hilarious. If you're hoping that this gets fixed anytime soon, it probably won't. This is pretty hard to fix as far as coding goes. But regardless, maybe now's the time for an upgrade if you plan to spend the foreseeable future on the First Descendant. Y'all have fun out there. Peace out. Also join my Discord to participate in the module recipe list. If you don't know what that is, go to this playlist and click on the module recipe list part 2. Have a good day.